Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. Welcome to Friday. It is lift o'clock or something like that. Appreciate you guys joining me. It is Massive Iron Live, the longest running live lifting podcast in the history of the universe. That's my claim, and I don't know that it is incorrect. So if it is incorrect, just let me know. We will correct that statement. How you guys doing? We are Friday 13th, halfway through March. Man, this year is going to move fast. It's going to be Halloween again before you think, before you know about it, before you think about it, before you know something. I don't know. You tell me. Before we get into things, a lot of crazy good stuff today. So I don't want you guys to go where. Good morning, everybody. A lot of good stuff today. I'm going to be giving an overview of my new program, 30-20-10. I'm so excited about this program. I've put out a lot of programs over the years. And I think this is right up there with my power muscle block burn bulldozer system. I'm going to give you guys an overview of this. We're going to be talking about Sam Sulek's nipple. Sam Sulek's nipple. So I know that sounds scandalous, but I couldn't resist. It's funny as heck. And we have a weight loss challenge going on starting on Monday. So any of you guys that want to join me and my app developer are going to be doing a weight loss challenge, and we want you guys to join us. Nothing crazy or intense. All you got to do is join our Discord server, and you can find a link here. I'm going to leave the linky winky on right here. You can copy it, or you can go to the YouTube comments. If you need the link for this, just come on over and join us. It's not a big deal. It's nothing crazy or intense. You can just come over and join the Discord. We're going to start Monday. This weekend, I'm going to put up information about the weight loss challenge. Basically, you can start an accountability thread, a log if you want. You don't have to do that. You can check in weekly. Basically, the rules are simple. You're going to weigh in first thing in the morning, and you're just going to try to attack and use this as a form of accountability, this group environment, to knock off a few pounds. So please come and join us. If you're struggling at all, just need the extra motivation or a part of the, to be part of a community. Clicky, the linky. I'm going to leave that up for a while. You can also head over to Ben the Barman on my Instagram. If you are late to the party, and I will send you the link. This is community driven, so there's no other place to do it, but all you have to do is be part of the Discord. It doesn't cost you anything. It's absolutely free. And if you're late, if you're tuning in and seeing this, and it is after Monday the 16th, join us anyway. It doesn't matter. We want to get in better shape. We want to knock a few pounds off. Just come on over and join us. So let me get that off. Let me get this thing off. Where is the so many things going on here? So before I get into the topic of the day, which is the 30-20-10, and before I talk about Sam Sulek's nipple, I just want to remind you guys that I do have a new workout tracker app out called PR.O. And this isn't just, all the influencers are putting out workout trackers. This isn't like that. This is a workout tracker that, in my opinion, is the best in the industry. Okay. So let me just give you an image file of this. Hold on. So you know what I'm talking about. Where are we at? So this is PR.O, Progressive Overload. You can find it in the Apple Store, in the Google Play Store. And this is not AI slop. This is not just some AI junk generator. This is the best workout tracker in the industry, in my opinion. We have features that are already well ahead of everybody else. We spent nearly 3 years developing it. And please give it a try. It's very important to me. We put so much time and energy and life into this. If you are using a workout tracker, I plead with you to give it a try. It doesn't cost you anything to give it a try. And I think you'll be able to see the difference. We have a just amazing amount of features. We have gym toolboxes, so you can create your own toolboxes for each gym environment. Let's say you work out at home, commercial gym, you're traveling. You can put together your own exercises, progression approaches, etc. So you can build like gym toolboxes. Say you want to do like a calisthenics workout in a home gym workout, you could build out a toolbox with bars and, excuse me, equipment. I need a drink here. I'm getting all fired up. You have a progressive overload builder, a progression builder built into the app. Just an amazing feature. So you can build your own progression approaches like last set, max reps, or whatever you want. And then you can apply it to any of your sets or exercises. We have obviously the best workout tracker in the industry, completely mind-blowing compared to what is out there. And we continue to add features. Like this week, we added a feature where you could, on any set at all, you could list any equipment you're using, from wrist wraps to even finger tape to elbow sleeves to whatever. So we have some crazy, crazy features. PR.O, progressive overload. Please check that out. I'm not going to turn this video into a complete commercial, but please check it out. And if you can't find it, DM me, email me, whatever. It's new in the stores. It can be harder to find at times, and we need your support. I want this to be the best in the industry, and I will not stop until it is the best. You guys know how I do business. I'm not going to settle for second place, and we are going to not only do I believe it's the best by a mile already in the industry, but we are just getting started. All right, so let me remove that. And just a reminder, I do coaching for a living. Hold on a second. We'll get into things. Just give me a second. Where is it? You can head over to my website if you're interested in coaching and check out the coaching tab. Coaching is what I do full time. I'm not a check-in once a week via spreadsheet guy. I check in with you every single day, 5 days a week. I was the online coach of the year in 2023. I didn't try to win that award. I won that award because I had 90,000 messages with my clients in 2023. Communication and relationship building is the foundation. I have a vast pile of testimonials of people that I've worked with, to varying degrees, tons and tons and tons of amazing results and amazing transformation stories. So if you want to be next, check out the coaching tab. I also have a custom workout service. Here you can just go over here and search custom. It's only $39.99. That's what I usually do on Saturdays or Sundays. All right. So let's get into the fun, guys. If you're new here, post up a question. I'm here to help. Doesn't matter if it's a question that's been asked 1,000 times before. We're going to look at the 30-20-10, which is my new program. I'm going to give you an overview. You have to go to my website, superlivingtoday.com, to download the complete PDF. But I'm telling you, the PDF is 212 pages long. This is a mini book. I'm not listing it as a mini book, but I'm going to show you what you get, and I'm going to go over the basics of the program for free, because that's what I do on this channel. I will give you the basics of the information for free. And if you want all the additional information, you can buy the PDF on my website, superlivingtoday.com. Hit the workouts tab. The 30-20-10 is the first. So before we do that, I just put up a video this morning. I saw this on Facebook, and I'm going to let the video speak for itself. I saw this come up on Facebook, and I'm looking at it. The other day on a Facebook. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at this comparison photo, and I'm going to show you what I found. Just watch. Let me know what you think. All right, so I want to point out something I saw the other day on a Facebook post by Bodybuilding Motivation. I'm not trying to rip on them. I'm just showing you what I saw. Look at the picture of Sam Sulek. Look at the picture of Sam. And trying to compare it to Lee Priest, but I want you to zoom in on the left side of his physique. If you zoom in at his left nipple and the area below his left nipple, you start to see an eye and a nose and a mouth and a face. Now, Tell me this isn't AI generated or AI enhanced. And I guess the warning is for all of us to look really closely at the nonsense being put out on these pages, because this is not the original image. Okay, so what they did, you see these images come across Facebook, a billion times a day. I mean, for me, lifting, I get a lot of lifting images, and I'm looking at Lee Priest. I'm like, he looks bigger anyway than Lee Priest. I mean, Lee Priest was big, but he looks a little swoolly woolly on there compared to what, I mean, it looks enhanced and his chest looks unbalanced. But either way, I'm looking at the image and I'm like, what's wrong with his nipple, right? What's wrong with his nipple? And, where's the photo? And I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, this is not Sam. What they did was they probably had it enhance the images or whatever. And AI for some random reason put an eyeball on the nipple and a nose, where the obliques were, whatever. So anyway, I got a kick out of that. That was the wacky thing from today. All right. Here we go, folks. This is the 30-20-10. Again, you can get it at my website, superlivingtoday.com. I'm going to give you an overview of this program on here. But I want you guys to know this is not just a 10, 15-page PDF. I'm going to give you a really quick look at things. You got an introduction. With the introduction, I go into, I've always wanted to build a strength building or power building program that was in the same class as like Wendler's 531. I'm not trying to make it like Wendler's 531, but I wanted to build a flagship program that was at that level, very flexible, something fun and enjoyable, but completely different. And I've put out a lot of strength building and power building programs, but this one, when I came up with this idea, I said, this is it. This is, for me personally, the most exciting program I have put out, most exciting structure I have put out since the Power Muscle Burn. I put out a lot of workouts. You guys know workouts are what I love to do. So I'm super excited about this. This is super flexible, and this isn't just for strength. This is for power building. So if you love the squat, bench, dead, and overhead press, perfect program for you for a phase or a long extended run. Even if you don't like one of these lifts, like the squat or the deadlift, you can still run the bones of this program with anything. It's a 3-week periodization, okay? But you don't have to use it as a 3-week periodization. You could use it as a 4 or a 2 or even a 1. And I'll show you why. It's because of the system, the structure, the rep goal system. So this uses the rep goal system for the major lifts. If you're not familiar with the rep goal system, check out any of the videos on my channel. Just go to the main page of this channel and search rep goal. Basically, and you can check out my first book, Massive Iron, the rep goal system, goes into great detail. You add up the total reps from each set, okay? And when you hit your rep goal total, if you hit your rep goal total, then the next time you do that exercise, you move up in weight. So the classic rep goal, let's say you're doing bench press for 3 sets and you had a rep goal target of 25. That means you would do 3 sets of bench, and when you did 25 or more reps total, not on each set, but total, then you would move up in weight the next time you benched. So let's say you hit 10 reps and 8 reps and 7 reps. That would be 26 total reps on the bench press. Because you hit your rep goal total of 25 or more, then you would move up. That's the way the rep goal works. Now, this has a fun twist to it. So basically with the 30-20-10 program, you have and again, you don't have to periodize like this. You can apply this structure to a 2-week periodization, or just use 1 rep goal every week. That's perfectly fine. And again, just hold steady. I'm going to tell you how it works. So you have 3-week periodization. You have a 30-week, a 20-week, and a 10-week. So your 30 is your rep goal total on week 1, 20 is on week 2, and 10 is on week 3. So you're going to be using a more moderate weight on the 30 rep goal week, a slightly heavier weight on the 20 rep goal week, and a more intense, the heaviest weight on the 10 week. So I'll show you a few of the details in the PDF shortly, but I want to give you as much of a broad overview as I can of this program. So let's say basically you're going to start out, let's say you start out on bench press with, I don't know, 75% of your max, wherever you're starting out, whatever weight it is. You have to hit 30 reps on that week with any of the lifts, squat, bench, dead, overhead, regardless of how many sets it takes. Let that resonate. This isn't a fixed set program. You use as many sets as you have to each week to hit the rep goal total. Could be 5, could be 6, could be 4. But when you hit that rep goal total in 3 sets, whether it's the 30, the 20, or the 10, when you hit it in 3 sets, then you move up 5 pounds on that lift the next week. So let me give you an example. Week 1, you're doing bench press with 185 pounds. Okay, and you hit 8 reps, 6 reps, which is 14, 5 reps, which is 19, 4 reps, which is 23, and I don't know, it takes you 7 total sets to get to 30. Obviously, you start out a little bit heavier, and this is a crazy extreme example. But if you wanted to stick with that weight, you would stick to that weight with that weight until you got 30 reps in only 3 sets. So let's say you're using like 185 and you got 12, and the second you got 10 reps, which is 22, and the third set you got 7, which is 29. You just missed it by 1 in 3 sets. You still do a 4th set. You can either do 1 rep to get to 30, or you can do as many reps as you want on that 4th set. It's up to you, but you have to hit at least 30 reps in that first week, no matter how many sets you do. Is this making sense? You guys have any questions, drop it down below. When you compress it down to 3 sets, like you get 12, 10, and 8 on 3 sets, that would be 30. Then the next time you bench, squat, dead, overhead press, you move up 5 pounds. The 20-week works the same way. It's going to be a little bit heavier. Let's say you're benching with 205 and you hit 8, 6, and 5. That would be 19 reps, 8, 6, and 5. So you would have to do a 4th set. Again, you could do it for 1 rep. You could do it for max reps, but you have to hit at least 20 reps. When you get that second week down to 3 sets, then the next time you do this exercise, you would move it up 5 pounds. On the 10 week, getting a little bit heavier, more intense. If you get 10 reps in 3 sets, you're going to be averaging like, a little bit above 3 sets of 3 reps. So you can see there's an intensity cycling that's naturally good for kind of strength building, a little bit of periodization. And if you got to that 10 week and you hit like 4 and 3 and 1, 1, 1, it took you 5 sets to get to 10 reps, that's fine. But when you can get that down to only 3 sets, then you move up in weight. So I'm going to look at the questions as we go through this, and I'm going to give you a little bit more information before we dive into everything else. What if we do flat bench twice a week? How do we factor that in? So that's a very good question. Now, you could use this structure twice a week on bench. I wouldn't recommend it on deads. Squats, I probably wouldn't recommend it on squats. But, you can really be flexible with this programming. as long as the application, how your program looks on paper, makes sense. So what I would advocate is if you want to bench twice a week, I would use the flat barbell bench as your meat and potatoes. And then on your second bench day, I would probably do some sort of a variation, not using this. You could, and let me explain how you could adjust it a little bit, adjust the concept a little bit, because this is flexible. But you could do like a Larson press, a close grip bench press. You could do a Spoto press. You could do bands, chains, etc. You could do a second bench press variation on the second day. So here's the exciting thing. Some of you are thinking, I don't want 3-week periodization. I don't want to do, I don't want to do low rep sets. This system can be modified any way you want. So if you wanted to add, I'm just giving you an example. If you wanted to add a second bench day, and let's say you wanted to do the Larson press and you didn't want to periodize, right? You just wanted one rep goal for that second day just to keep things simple. You could set, say, 25 as your rep goal target for the Larsons. And then when you got 25 in 3 sets, then you could move up in weight. So you can use the same thing, where once you get your rep goal target in 3 sets, then you can move up in weight. See what I mean? So you could use this on some of your assistance work or really any other exercises in your program if you want to. You could use this for pecky decky, or you could use this for leg extensions if you wanted to on your assistance work. Let's say leg extensions or pec deck, you set a target of 35, and when you can hit 35 in 3 sets, then you move up in weight. This is a really good way, a simple way of trying to beat the logbook, and it's fun and engaging because every set matters. We're not necessarily pushing every set to failure, right? But we're pushing every set deep for maximum safe quality reps. So the application variations of this program are absolutely crazy, right? You can, I don't structure the programs in here to use this type of 30-20-10 system on the assistance work, but you certainly could. That's the beautiful thing about this type of system. It's like the power muscle block, power muscle burn, power muscle bulldozer system. There's many ways to approach it. It is more of a general fluid concept. So let's look at the book a little bit, and then we will move on to your questions. 30-20-10, the flagship strength and power building system. About the author, introduction, why I came up with it. The basics of 30-20-10. Maybe if I make my, whoops, sorry about that. Trying to make this a little bit easier for you guys to read. 4 main components of the 30-20-10. I'm not going to drag this out too long. Component number 1, 3-week periodization. We just explained that. Component 2, rep goal targets. We explained that. Component number 3, maximizing each set, maximum safe quality reps. This is where I differ from a lot of people in the industry. I don't talk about training to failure. We talk about pushing a set for as many safe quality reps as possible, stopping the set when you feel like you might fail on the next rep or when your form starts to break down. So we're pushing for maximum safe quality reps. We want sustainable training, not to beat up the body. And component number 4, as many sets as needed to hit your rep goal target. So I talk about starting points in the book. For the 30-week, I talk about starting at about 65 to 70% of your 1 rep max, approximately. Then we can dial in from there. So week 1, the 30 rep goal week, you start with about 65 to 70% of your 1 rep max. The second week, the 20 rep goal week, starting with about 70 to 72.5% of your 1 rep max. And week 3, about 80 to 82.5% of your 1 rep max for squats and deadlifts. For the bench and the overhead press, more like 85. You don't want to go too heavy on your bench or on your deadlifts and squats. So I give you, some examples of how the system works. We just covered that. Just showing you what's in the book, deadlift example. And in the book, we have some split options. I put in 3, but you can really do whatever you want. I put in an optional 4-day traditional body part split with a bench day, a deadlift day, an overhead press day, and a squat day. And then I put in an upper posterior rotation, one of my favorite programs, upper A, posterior A, upper B, posterior B. And then for those of you guys that want a 3-day weekly structure, squat and bench on one day, overhead on the second, deadlift on the third. And you can see it goes into how to structure each of these programs, the body part split, the upper posterior, or the 3-day. And this is just general guidelines. I do provide a split structure. You can vary from these structures if you want. And I also provide example workouts. This isn't necessarily the best workout. It's just an example workout for a body part split, for an upper posterior. You guys can come back to this and screenshot it if you want. And for the 3-day structure. So I also have what I call the ultimate program. The ultimate program is basically, okay, you came to the 30-20-10 system and you want a really good program. You don't just want an example program. This is a really good place to start. This is what I would build if somebody just wants to get into the massive iron world and dig in with a good quality strength and power building program. So there you have it. Screenshot it. Let it rip. I'm going to look at the questions here from Ernie. For 30-20-10, I haven't done deadlift in over a year. How would I find my starting weight? Okay, so if you do want a deadlift, understand that you could do a rack pull, a block pull. I wouldn't do this with Romanians. You could do variations, hex bar, whatever. If you haven't deadlifted in a year, if I am away from the deadlift for a while, I start with the bare minimum weight and I slowly creep up over 4 to 6 weeks. I would be safe on the deadlift day. I would consider it to be kind of a separate aspect of the program, and I would move that up on its own track until you get to the point where you feel super proficient, and then maybe start to dabble with some different rep goal targets. But we need to be safe and take care of that lower back. So I'm just going to briefly go through what is in the rest of the book. And again, this is 212 pages. Programming notes, progress expectations, time off and deload considerations. Programs like Wendler's had a 4th week deload. Here I talk about how I would approach deloading if you want to. Programming flexibility. What I talked about earlier, you can modify this and move away from 3-week periodization. You can change the rep goal targets to anything you want, 25-15-8, 20-15-10, or higher for more hypertrophy on any specific lift. Example ways to modify the rep cycle: 2-week cycle 20-10, 3-week cycle 30-20-10, 5-week cycle. You can do a 5-week cycle if you want to get cray, right? 40-30, 20-15-10. And then I apply this for muscle building, the 30-20-10. I talk about applying it for pure muscle building. For those of you that like muscle building but like the big lifts, you're welcome, Ernie. And Elias said, what are massive curls? Good question. So the massive curls are basically, did I have the notes up here in the workout? Hold on, there they are. So this ultimate program has workout notes, how you do each of the techniques. The massive curls, basically you're going to do an easy bar or a strict barbell curl, and you're going to perform 8 strict reps. No cheating, no English, okay? And then after the 8 strict reps are done, then we're going to do some cheat reps. Then we're going to do 4 cheat reps, just a little bit of English to help you, kind of as a solid end cap for your curls. So with massive curls, You do strict reps, 8 reps, and then you end up with 4 cheat reps. On the last set of massive curls, you could push for maximum safe quality strict reps and then do cheat reps. So, good question. And I'm here for your questions. Give me as many as you want. This is this is the section 30, 20, 10 for pure muscle building. And tons of, this is only page 36. There's 212 pages. How to warm up properly for the big compound movements. I give you a warm-up table. How should you eat? I include a big section on bulking to maximize your progress. I'm just going to skip through this. This is a huge section, and it shows you how to bulk or approach this. If you have 30 to 50 pounds to lose, 50 plus pounds to lose, let's see, 10 to 30 pounds to lose, you want to hold weight, or somebody that wants to do a conventional, want to gain weight bulking program. I go into everything in this section on eating, about cutting diet calories, finding maintenance calories, how to deal with portion sizes, how to find portion sizes, how to estimate your calories if you don't know, based on, as a general starting point. And bonus materials, a lot of bonus materials in, what is a micronutrient, 2 months to a new lifestyle, food choice suggestions if you really want to clean up your diet. I include 5 lessons I learned from my transformation. And I want to show you guys all this because I want to show you this is a book. It's not just my modified fasting diet, fat loss for big eaters, minor eating plan examples. What if I ate fruits and veggies? You're an adult. Go find fruits and veg you like. How big can you get naturally? We get into arm size expectations, lean body mass expectations. You can see this is how much muscle you can expect to gain in each year. We're only on page 98, guys. We're only on page 98. This is 212 pages. And bench press addendum. And how to use this is the bench press addendum. This is information on the bench press. Tons of information on the bench press, how to smash a plateau. Let's see, we're on page 131, testing your max, try this. So you have sections on the bench press and the squat and the deadlift at the end with tons of information on each of the lifts. Squat and deadlift addendum, building a bigger back, relying on deadlifts and rows. 5 ugly truths about the deadlifts. Just tons and tons and tons and tons of information, including on form, how to set up on the deadlift, etc., etc. This is a monster. So again, it is available. If you want the complete PDF book, superlivingtoday.com, go over to the workouts tab and just search, or just click workouts. It'll be the first one there. Search 30, 20, 10. I'm not trying to turn this, live video into a commercial, but I'm super excited about this program. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope you guys give it a try. I would love for you to come over and join my main Discord group and run it. It looks like we have 3 members already that have signed up for the fat loss group. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you, guys. All right, let's dive into things. Let's dive into your questions. I will stay on as long as you guys have questions. I appreciate your patience. Rico, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Big Ernie Peterson, good to see you, Ernie. Appreciate you being here. Richard, good morning and happy Friday. I hope this week was better than the last one and that you were able to get the basement situation sorted. For those of you guys tuning in wondering why I'm in a different location, I'm upstairs. My basement flooded. We've had a lot of rain. My basement is my filming studio and my home gym and everything that's valuable for me, my man cave. And it flooded. We had to remove the flooring. I'm able to get it's all dried out now. We have the contractor coming tomorrow and we're starting the process of rebuilding, but it's just going to be a long, extended process. I just want to get in as many workouts as I can to stay focused during that time. But that's why I'm up here in the weird, wacky area. Yesterday, I read your 30-20-10 program and it looks awesome. I'm incredibly pumped to start it. It would be a great story of the week if you could share how you came up with it and what the creation process was. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I think I covered this, but I've been creating programs all the way back, forever. But on the internet, when I started to actually write, I started to put out programs about 19 years ago, about 2007. And I was putting out programs for Critical Bench and then Muscle and Strength and then Tiger Fitness. And on my own website, Muscle and Brawn, which I no longer own, so please don't go over there. I had a couple other websites as well. What was the other name? Real Results. I had Real Results workouts, kind of a workout brand, if you will. Hate to use that word. But I've always wanted to put out, I love my Power Muscle Burn, Power Muscle Block, Power Muscle Bulldozer system. That is the ultimate muscle building system. Everything else is great. I like all my programs will help you build muscle, but that's my ultimate. That's my flagship muscle building program, primarily because it's what I used, right? And I love it, and I just love the structure. It's simple, so I've created the Power Muscle Block, Power Muscle Burn, Power Muscle Burn, Power Muscle Bulldozer, all kinds of variations over the years, just to give you guys different ways to run it. And I've always wanted to build a flagship strength building, power building program that could not compete with 531, but be in the same zone as 531. I'll never be as big as Wendler. We're not talking physical stature. We're talking about 531 program. I'm just a small fry, and I'm not trying to put out a program that's somehow surpasses sales of 531. That's not on my radar at all. But I wanted to put out a program that somebody that was familiar with 531 could look at my program and go, this is a great, just a fun choice. This is right up there, in fun and simplicity with 531. So I put out a lot of programs over the years, tons and tons of programs, and I'm happy with all of them. I really am. I think the programs speak for themselves, but this one, the 30-20-10 is it. It is it. I'm super satisfied with it. When somebody talks about strength and power building, this will be the go-to program I recommend, first and foremost, for them to check out. When I say power building, okay, and I want to talk about this, and I want to share a story, a personal story with the Wendler's 531 world. And I want you guys to hear this because it's a pretty interesting story. So where was I? I'm talking about the personal story. I lost my track. I lost my thought. What was I talking about? Because I started to think about my conversation with the 531 programs with somebody I had. And I'm going to explain that a little bit, but I'm just super happy with the program. It's going to be the program I refer people to. And I was going to talk about power building. I know the term power building kind of, we went through a phase like 2 years ago where every influencer in the world was putting out a video about power building. Power building's stupid. Power building's weird. Power building's dumb. Power building's a marketing gimmick. I started using the term power building around 2007, 2008. And I assure you, it was not a marketing ploy. It wasn't. Here's why I started using it. And here's why I continue to use it. And we shouldn't be afraid of the word. And I hope this makes sense. You have muscle heads, and then you have power builders. So a muscle head loves building muscle, and they understand progressive overload, but they might not be super obsessed with end limit strength on the big lifts. Is that fair? How many of you guys, just drop a comment, just say muscle builder, muscle head, whatever, are just muscle heads? You love building muscle. You understand you need progressive overload, but you might not be crazy passionate about strength. You might be doing some of the big lifts, but you might not be crazy passionate about end limit strength on the squat or the deadlift or whatever. You might not even be doing them. That's a bodybuilder mindset, a muscle building mindset. You understand the process. You respect progressive overload, but your passion is mostly in muscle building. And if you get stronger, you get stronger. It's part of the process, etc. But you're not crazy consumed with strength on the big lifts. A power builder, and why I started using the term power builder, is somebody like me. I love muscle building. Muscle building is my bread and butter. Yes, I did compete in powerlifting. Yes, I did coach plenty of people on the platform powerlifting. Yes, I coach Special Olympics powerlifting. Yes, I coach clients in powerlifting. I love powerlifting, but my bread and butter is muscle building. But I love strength. I love strength on the big lifts. It consumes me. I love it. I absolutely love it. So there is a differentiator. I am a muscle head that loves strength on the big lift. So the reason why I started using the word power builder back in the 2006, 2007 was to differentiate from someone that just loves muscle building, but it's not cuckoo like I am for strength on the big lifts. Does that make sense? So I want to talk about why this is a strength and power building program. This is a good program for those of you that want to build muscle, but also love strength on the big lifts. So I'm going to finish with a story about Wendler's 531. Okay. Jim Wendler, to my knowledge, based on my information and my discussion with this individual, did not write the complete 531 book. He came up with a concept. I believe it was on a napkin, if I'm remembering the story right, and I could be remembering the story wrong. And I mean, no offense to Jim Wendler. It's his program. It's his concept. But I believe he wrote it on the back of a napkin. And they gave it to an individual. And I believe they called him the online coach back in the early days of the Elite FTS website. I talked to this guy a week before he died. He told me the story of writing the book for Jim. Again, I'm just telling you the information he told me. I'm not saying Jim didn't come up with the idea. It was Jim's idea. But I believe this individual wrote the book. That's what he told me. Yeah, online coach. I talked to him a week before he passed away on the phone. I was in Louisiana. He told me the story of Wendler's 531, how he was given a napkin, how he wrote the book for Jim, and he received a prowler as compensation. True story. That's what he told me. He received a prowler as compensation. And, Wendler's 531 went on to make millions, tons in PDF sales. He died a week later after I talked to him. It was just a very fortuitous conversation. I think I spent an hour talking to him on the phone. Wonderful conversation, wonderful individual. But that's a little bit of the story. And I don't want to get myself in any wacky legal trouble. I'm just passing along the conversation I had with somebody that's no longer here. And that's the full story as far as I understand it. And that's the story of the week. All right. Just a reminder, we have a weight loss challenge starting Monday. Come on over to the Discord right now. Sign up. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Come on over. Sign up. Sign up right now. We'd love to have you. I'm going to be starting a log. I already started a log this morning. I'm going to be weighing in. We're going to be motivating each other, kicking each other in the ass, and getting things moving forward. Shelly Turner, one of my favorite human beings in the world, and Shelly mentioned she was considering extending coaching. I hope you do, because you guys are more than just people to me. I look forward to you every day. You're part of my life. You are my world. You're my clients, and I look forward. So I hope you do sign up. I'd love to continue to work with you. All right, we're 47 minutes in. Keep the questions coming. Let's roll on, guys. Post all the questions. I'm going to have some caffeine molecules. So let me ask you guys a question. Of all the programs you've ever run, which one do you remember the most? Which one is the program, for whatever reason, good reasons, bad reasons, fond reasons, torture reasons? What program do you remember the most? I've had a lot of programs over the years. The Drunk Russian I ran for quite a while in 2008, 2009. I ran bulldozer training for a complete year in 2008. That's where the concept originated. One of my most memorable program runs was with German volume training squatting. I was squatting 500-ish at the time, and I decided to go easy, easy with German volume training. So I decided to do 185 pounds for 10 sets of 10. I still remember the fallout. I did 10 sets of 10 with 90 seconds of rest in between. 8 days later, I could not walk well at all. I had to stop German volume training because there's no way I could have done that a week later. No way, no way, no way. So I asked you guys if you're a musclehead or, what do you consider yourself to be? Let's see. Isaac, I started out kind of a musclehead, but I converted to power building. I want you guys to know, even if you're not a power builder, you don't care, I'm a musclehead. I have all kinds of programs for you. So let us see what we have. Where are we? Joshua. Excuse me. Wow. Man, if I knew a weight loss challenge was starting, I would have run off 11 pounds this week. It's starting on Monday. Oh, you wouldn't have run off. Come join us anyway, man. We'd love to have you. It's not just about who wins or loses. It's just about making progress and, doing the thing. So come on over and join us, please. Isaac, good morning. Good to see you. Woodulus, greetings from Scotland. You want a story? I have a Scottish flag in my gym from Woodulus. That's a true story. Maybe Woodulus can drop the story down below, but that's a true story. That is indeed a true story. My heritage, Shaw obviously is a Scottish name, and I've done extensive research on my family heritage, researching back on whatever website it was, Ancestry or whatever. So on my dad's side of the family, one of the lineages actually goes all the way back to Plymouth, early American settlers. So before that, some of them came from England and some of them came from Scotland. So we're talking, I was able to research my family history all the way back to the late 1400s, like 1470s. a lot of records and information. On the other side of my family, we are Russian German from the Volga River in Russia. So I have the Scottish flag in my gym and the Volga German flag. So the Volga Germans, there were Germans that were encouraged to move by Russia to the Volga River in Germany or in Russia. So the Russians encouraged the Germans, hey, come live here, come live on the Volga River. So my great grandparents were moved from Volga, Russia. There were Germans in Volga, Russia, to America. Around the chaos around the world wars, you had a bunch of Germans in Volga, Russia, in the Volga, Russia area. And the Russians kind of became nervous that the Germans in Russia might be affiliating with, Hitler. So they started moving a lot of the Volga Russians to Siberia. They didn't just move them there and execute them. They had really, really harsh conditions, super harsh conditions. My great grandparents were actually relocated to Siberia. I have a photo from Ancestry of them that says Siberia on it. A real photo of my great grandparents. My great grandparents were relocated to Siberia. And I believe over 100,000 Russian Germans died in that area. I could be wrong. It was just horrendous living conditions. And my great grandparents escaped somehow. I don't know how. A lot of the Volga Germans moved to Kansas and Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin. And I'm very proud of my heritage, a very unique heritage. I love being part Scottish, but I also love my Russian German heritage. Very, very interesting. So that's my story. And let's see. Seeing if Woodulus responded. Greetings from Scotland. I think I need a weight gain challenge. You've lost a little bit. I need to come over there and force feed you. What is going on? Good morning. Good to see you, my friend. We did that question before. We did that before. We did the massive curls before. Big Paul, one of my favorite human beings on planet Earth. Paul's like my brother from another mother. I don't have a brother, but Paul is somebody I would consider to be my brother. How do you lift self-regulate when cutting? Pressing strength drops. When should you drop 5 pounds? Generally, when I get below 6 reps, personally, on a press, then I would consider moving the weight down 5 pounds. You don't have to do this. If it gets below 5, you could move the weight, but that's kind of my personal, regulator. I just don't like to train too heavy at like 85% when I'm on a cut. It's a soft rule. You can adjust it as you need to. Isaac, for the different periodization cycles, is there a rep goal that I shouldn't go over for a workout? So we are talking about, the 30-20-10, and it has a 3-week periodization. Is there a rep goal that you shouldn't go over for a workout? No. You can go over, like, if you're doing this in 3 sets and you go over the 10 to like 12 or 13, that's fine. You can stop at 10, you can go over 10, you can stop at 20, you can go over 20. It doesn't really matter as long as you are rolling along. So no, there's not a rep goal that you shouldn't go over, but good question. Let's see. Big Scott, should the lifts all be week 1, 2, or 3 at the same time? You mean do the 30 weeks and then the 20 weeks and then the 10 weeks all in the same week? You don't have to do it that way. You can do it any way you want. So you could do a 30-week for bench, a 20-week for squat, and a 10-week for dead. You could rotate it any way you want, because you're going to end up doing a 3-week rotation. So if you don't want to have a super intense week, you do not have to do that at all. Big Ryan, got the PDF, had to pay the bills first this morning. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. All right. Where are we at? I've got tendonitis in my elbows. I'd like to drop weight in my curls. Should I keep the rep target the same with lower weight, or should I shoot for more reps since it's less weight? I would like for you to probably try to find a sweet spot. Like if you have really bad elbow tendonitis, and I had it really, really bad 20 years ago, unbearable, just unbearable. I would probably find a weight or an exercise for biceps that treats you reasonably well and just kind of do volume. Like one thing you could do is like run the rack, run the stack on like a curl variation. This is something I do, something I did last night. I do 20s on dumbbell curls for 8, then 25s for 8, then 30s for 8, then 35s for 8. And then I'll move up to 40s and 45s and 50s. You don't have to go that high, but it's kind of a pre-fatigue ramping type of structure, and then you can ramp back down. So you're getting in some extra volume. You can ramp up to the max tolerable weight and ramp back down. You can do that on machine curls, cable curls. But I would try to get in a little bit more volume and just work within the range that doesn't irritate your tendonitis. Big, Joshua, Kevin, Perry. 1062 is the real ultimate program. Let's see. Old and wise. Do you or have you considered doing either a live or recorded follower form check review? Hey, I'd love to do it. If I knew I could get enough form reviews, I would do it. I've done videos in the past where I took your videos. You guys want, hey, look, I used to say this and nobody would ever do it. You want me to review your form video? Post the link right here, right now. Email me. Let me know. I'll do it live anytime. I've mentioned this before, and I don't have many people taking me up on it, but I would do that 100% right now. You send me a form video. We just had 2 more people join into the weight loss, Uber MX and Ernie. Thank you guys for joining in. We just had 2 more people join in. I will do that live. You post a video, you send me, if you email me a video or post me a YouTube link, I don't want to download it on my computer, but I will look at that live right now. Let it rip. But yeah, I would absolutely do that. I did a one like that with deadlifts, so I'd be happy at any time. And I should consider doing something. I've thought about doing like seminars, like, hey, Saturday, the whatever, I'm going to do a bench press seminar. Sign up for a couple nickels. Bring your bench press form videos, your bench press questions. Let's get into it, in kind of a seminar setting. Would you guys be interested in that sort of thing, like a once a month seminar on a different topic? Might be fun. So I don't know. You guys let me know. Let's see. Michael from Germany. Michael is one of my favorite all-time people. Hey, Steve, Team Massive. Wish you a wonderful weekend and good gains. My question is, how important is isolated ab training, and what exercise would you recommend? Greetings from Germania. So, a very good question. If you are a muscle head that wants to look good, eventually lean, I would probably focus more on direct ab work. I have not done a lot of direct ab work over the years, but because of my huge reliance on compounds, my abs are thick or just genetically thick. So I don't have to, really. If you get down to about 15 to 18%, you start seeing the outline of your abs, and you kind of can tell you have thick abs. You know what I'm saying? There are some, like when I get down to 22%, I can start seeing a shape of my abs come in. So if you're starting to get, you're not anywhere close to stage shred and you can see your abs coming in already, then you're probably in a pretty good place as far as genetics and thickness. So could you still do a little bit of ab training? Absolutely. And this would be a really interesting topic for a video, but hey, we're doing it live. So there are some people that continue to get lean and they're pretty darn lean and they don't have a lot of abs. One of my clients, Frank, got very, very dry, and he had to get very, very dry before he started seeing outline of his abs. If you go to a natural bodybuilding show, you're going to see this, right? Where some guys just don't have as defined abs as others, even though they're almost equally lean. So if you're nervous about this at all, I would definitely attack the abs. I would recommend uh, a minimum amount each week. And if you're a guy that's like, I just don't like ab training, then don't do it. Don't do it. But for someone that's very interested possibly in competing, there are some lifts you should consider with progressive overload, like a decline sit-up. I used to do them with a plate. That was probably the exercise I did more than anything over the years. I just like it allowed me to use a plate, right? I'm a power builder, right? I like holding 45-pound plates. The slight decline, the exaggerated decline. I had a client this week doing a very aggressive decline. That's not always fun, but a decline sit up, a cable crunch for a lot of volume, or even rest pause style, that would be fun. Back in the old school days, we used to do Russian twists or even side bends. I think a side bend where you don't exaggerate the movement pattern is good. A wood chopper with a cable where you can use some overload and bring it maybe from low to high or high to low might be a good rotational exercise to work in. What am I missing here for something you can progressively overload on the abs? You can do hanging leg raises and knee raises where you can use ankle weight or a light dumbbell or something like that. Something not irritating. There's a lot of creative work you can do, but I wouldn't go cray with it, right? But I would probably add in, maybe a couple sets here or there. And if you're serious about competing, probably 6 sets a week, maybe 3 sets of 2 with an exercise or 2 sets of 3. Thoughts on the standing chest press machine? I've tried it once. Great machine. I mean, you can brace a little bit better. I like plate loaded chest press. I like the lying plate loaded chest press. I like the standing plate loaded chest press. I have jammer arms in my home gym and I don't mind them, but I like the plate loaded chest press better because you don't have to putz around, do all the crazy stuff. So yeah, I'm a fan as long as it treats you good and you can get a good setup. Would you list the Volga Germans? That's a hard knock life. All right, let me get a drink. We're an hour and 4 minutes in. Keep your questions coming. Again, please come over and join the Discord group, the Fat Loss group. Love to have you, my friends. Faraj, sorry. Definitely a power builder. My most memorable program is super squats. Yeah, that's, I don't talk about this, but I have so many books on my shelf. Maybe one day I should just bring out all of the books on lifting I have. I have all the classic books. I love collecting the old magazines. If you have old lifting magazines from the 70s, 60s, 80s, 90s, and you want to get rid of them, don't hesitate to donate them. I love that stuff. I love looking at programming. Used to do 6+ minute sets. That's the stuff of nightmares and gains, my friend. Excuse me. It's a little bit dry up here. I'm a lifetime natty bodybuilder that has been off for over 20 years. I quit because I was not aware of natural bodybuilding competition. I don't blame you. I mean, this might sound ridiculous, but I got started lifting in 1986. And I really got on the internet around 1999. Some of the early bodybuilding forums like bodybuilding.com and Get Big or whatever, and some of the forums. And I think it was around 2006, 2007 that I became aware of like the natural bodybuilding world because I was a writer in the industry. When I first started working for Muscle and Strength, they were very much a natural focus. So we would focus on natural bodybuilding, natural body transformations. And I got to know the natural bodybuilding world quite well. And I got to interview a lot of the top natural competitors. So a lot of them were doing body part splits. Most of them were doing body part splits. Don't hate me. I didn't invent it, right? I am 53 years old now, would like to use power building as long as you applied it, appropriately for yourself. I have tons of clients over the age of 50 getting really good results. And if you have a history, just structured properly, you could do well. And any of you older guys, and I say older guys respectfully, I have a lot of clients over 40, over 50. I'd love to work with you if any of you are interested in coaching. Big Justin Jones, speaking of coaching, one of my massive mass monsters like Michael. Good to see you, JJ. Big Dakota, good to see you, my friend. Big Luke. Thoughts on running 5-3? I'm just looking at German volume training and wincing. Running that and German volume training together. How about run 30-20-10? I would not run German volume training. I don't know. I had fun with, I think, the bench press. But I think when you're running it, you really have to run it for the short term and eat a lot of food. I think you're going to risk a lot of overuse, abuse. So hopping in over here, Facebook stream was laggy. Sorry about that. We have about 5 questions left, guys. 5 questions left. I'm just giving you a heads up. I will hop off if I don't get any more questions. So please post your questions now. Probably dropping off about 10 minutes. If not, do you track macros or calories? Do you believe that a metabolism can be improved with exercise and meal frequency? Michael Herm seems to have some interesting views on nutrition and cardio. So I always am aware of my calorie range. I have a history of food abuse. Like, I can easily abuse food. You guys know my story. I was 346 pounds. I nearly ate myself to death. I was very, very depressed. I was in a relationship that wasn't a good fit for me. It's not that the person was a bad person. It just wasn't a good fit for me. And I lost myself. But at the same time, because of all the aggressive eating and food abuse, I was able to gain a ton of strength. My weight got up to 346 pounds. I remember one period I gained about 35 pounds, headed into my last powerlifting meet. My strength was going crazy. Do you believe that a metabolism, or do you track calories and macros? So I track, I have an idea of always where my calories are at. I'm self-monitoring. I don't get them down. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly how many calories I eat each day. I'm not that specific, but I know ballpark. Like, I know I'm around 2,250. I'm around 2,400. And then on the weekend, sometimes the wife comes home and she's stressed and she's like, I want to have a little pizza and a couple of beers and watch a movie. Then I just don't think about it. I don't track during those times. I stay reasonable. I don't do anything I regret. I don't like feeling overly full or really disgusting. And I don't like how I feel the next day. But I have an idea most days, but those days where we get a little bit loose, like it's our anniversary weekend, we might do a little cheesecake. We might do a little Brazilian steakhouse. I'm not tracking anything, man. I'm not going to abuse myself, but no, I don't track. Do I track macros? I don't worry about fats and carbs. I make sure I'm getting in reasonable protein, but still, I never track my protein. I I did the first 3 years of lifting, but since then, I never track protein. I have an awareness that I'm getting in enough protein, and I have a protein focus, but I do not track. So let me walk you through what I ate yesterday as an example. So, um, when was my first meal? Okay. I had a Greek yogurt and 2 protein waffles for breakfast. Okay. That's 300 calories and it's about 23 grams of protein. I didn't know that. I wasn't saying that to myself. I'm just analyzing it now. So I had a little bit of a breakfast yesterday. I had a little bit of a breakfast yesterday of about 300 calories. And then about 1 o'clock, I had a bison sirloin. Now, I get Force of Nature meats. I'm not rich, but once a month I'll have a bison sirloin. It was in the freezer. I got for lunch. I had a bison sirloin, 230 calories, and 210 calories of rice. So I had a bison sirloin for lunch. For dinner, I had a pound of 95.5 ground beef and rice. So that was my entire eating yesterday. And I was in a calorie deficit, but I had a pound of 95.5 beef, a bison sirloin, and then a Greek yogurt and 2 protein waffles. So I'm protein focused, but I don't go crazy about tracking protein. Carbs, I don't do well being type 2 diabetic anymore with sugar. I really don't. If I eat something straight sugar, I feel my blood sugar goes crazy. It does not like it. I don't like to mess with it. Ice cream is a little bit different because it has the creaminess in it. It doesn't bother me. Occasionally we'll have ice cream, but I don't like straight sugar. But carbs and fats, I just let it take care of themselves. I try to eat reasonably well, eat balanced, and they take care of themselves. Do I believe a metabolism can be improved with exercise? To a minor degree with muscle mass increase. And let me explain. I mean, the increase in metabolism is minimum, but most of the increase you see in your metabolism is because you're moving more, right? You're doing more steps. You have more awareness of that. You're doing more gym activity. I'm doing jujitsu, all that kind of stuff. So, when I'm not doing jujitsu and not running and just lifting, I'll lose about 5 to 6 pounds a month at 2,200 calories. When I'm doing jujitsu 4 times a week and doing 2 to 3 runs a week, I will lose like 15 pounds a month at 2,200 calories. So most of the metabolic boost is just from overall movement. Yes, the more muscle you have, the more calories it's going to take to sustain your physique. Your TDEE, all that kind of good stuff is going to change, but it's not going to be dramatic. I'm not minimizing it. Does that make sense? Big Jeffrey, good morning. Good to see you, my friend. The standing chest press felt better than flat dumbbells. That's perfectly fine. Well, I wanted to know if the strength equals out. The key thing you always want to think about when you are putting together a group of chest exercises is that you have a reasonable selection. You don't want to just do one movement like some of these guys. We have storm chasers, you have fad chasers on the Instagram. There's one right now. I'm not going to name names. That is like, you must do the same exercise 3 times a week. You must do the same exercise 3 times a week, or you will go catabolic, or you lose gains, or whatever the nonsense. One of the most ignorant statements I've ever heard in my entire career in lifting. So you have those clowns, and I call them clowns because it's ridiculous advice. It could be further from the truth. So he is a clown. So, Jake, Oops, I just coughed. Sorry, I didn't mean to say his name. Uh, but that aside, you want to have a good selection of exercise. Just a little humor on Friday. A good selection of exercises like bench and machine chest press and pec deck, whatever you want. You don't want to just do the same exercise. You want to have a little bit of variety. It'll hit the muscle group and hit the areas in a little bit different way. That's only a positive thing. So just keep that in mind. All right. Hoping to start your 12-week progression program using the standard chest press. That's fine. Just have a couple of other exercises in the mix that target your chest. You'll be fine. Big Troy, one of my favorite people on planet Earth. Speaking of freaks, with tricep extensions, how much upward elbow movement is acceptable? No, it's not a problem if the elbows flare, because as you're extending down, they're going to naturally do what they need to do, right? So we have to take care of our elbows on triceps movements. Triceps movements, more than anything, can potentially beat up the elbows. It's very different for each lifter. Some lifters will find extensions bother their elbows. Some lifters won't. Some lifters will find JM press will bother their elbows. Some lifters won't. So it's very lifter specific. And I'm not saying inherently your elbows will be bothered by triceps exercises, but we want to keep, like on a skull crusher, on an extension, just let your elbows naturally go where they want to go, because during the extension process, the triceps is going to be doing what the triceps does, and we want to keep it in a natural position. Don't worry about flare. Don't try to be robotic like these bodybuilding videos where the elbows are stapled at your side and they can't rotate up. That's just nonsense. It's arbitrary, good form nonsense. When you're doing an extension, like a rope extension or a cable tricep extension, you want a little bit of upward elbow rotation. So right here, my elbows are a couple, 2-3 inches up from my side. You can see we're coming up real close to the bottom of the chin level. Usually when I see it coming up above the chin level, the elbows are really rotating higher than they should, and now you're starting to get into like the movement of like a lat pull down, where you're getting too much lat, pulling in a little bit more lat focus than I would like to see. So get it up to about chin level max, and think about driving the elbows down. And so I say rotate and extend. Rotate and extend. Does that make sense? All right. Will the 30-20-10 PDF be free on Discard? This one will not, and I'm very sorry. This is more of a book. This one's not, but I just gave you the bones for free on here. So, the bones of the program for free. Big Tony, good to see you, my friend. Is it accurate to say that conversations about volume require the context of exercise selection? Absolutely. It is maddening to see conversations in this industry without context. So there are exercises I can do, and I think I was having this conversation with Michael from Germany and on Discord, where I can do a lot of volume on that exercise, and it's not punishing, and I can do a lot of volume in that workout, and a lot of quality volume like leg extensions or whatever, and I'm not punished physically or from a recovery standpoint. Whether you should do it or shouldn't do it, that's a whole different discussion. But volume conversations need to factor in personal experience. Somebody that's squatted for 40 years like me isn't going to be as sore as somebody that's brand new to the squat. So, there are so many factors involved when we are talking about volume. Personal experience is a big one, exercise selection, generic proclamations of sets per exercise drive me nuts because they lack context. We are smarter than that. Whenever you see a video that says 2 sets per exercise, 2 sets per exercise, Well, that's nice and tidy on paper, but that's not real world lifting, right? I'm not saying it 2 sets per exercise is a bad thing inherently. It's fine in the context of your program. But when we make the leap saying everything must be 2 sets per exercise because volume, because this, because that, this is ridiculous. I do 2 sets of Romanians because number one, I don't want it to take forever. Number two, I'm super freaking strong on them. And I don't want to spend all day doing Romanian deadlifts. I think I got enough out of them. And I don't want to place any more extra lower back stress. I do 1 set of dumbbell rows, 1. Not because of any arbitrary rule, but because I'm doing like 250 for 20 reps or whatever. I'm done. I'm done mentally. I'm done physically. I'm tapping out. Why? Because I want to. Because that's enough for me. So on deadlift, on back day, I'll go and do my deadlifts. I'll do 1 set of dumbbell rows. And then sometimes I do 5 sets of seated cable rows and 5 sets of lat pull downs. Why? Because I want to. Because the dumbbell row, I'm tapping out. I'm not being a wimp. I'm, doing 200 for 20 plus reps. And less forgiving things like a machine row or seated cable row. I like to do more volume. Can't say I'm not progressing because I'm stronger than everybody else. Not stronger than everybody in the world, but you know what I'm saying. So the arguments made against me that you're doing junk volume because you do 5 sets of seated cable rows and 5 sets of lat pull downs. If junk volume is if I would never progress. I'm using the entire stack on seated cable rows. I think I got it figured out. Thank you, Internet, right? So the black and white stuff, the stuff that lacks nuance, the stuff that lacks context, right? Programming isn't just do 2 sets here, this rep range, only do this, right? Any of these people that teach programming like that are making idiotic statements. I'm not calling them an idiot. I'm saying they're making idiotic statements that completely lack context, nuance, understanding of programming. They're making up rules for content crap shoveling. You can quote me because I'm right. If you think I'm wrong, give me a good argument why you think I'm wrong. Not you, Tony. But I'm saying any of you, right? 2 sets per exercise. Okay, this stuff is a starting point. It's not an end point. Wherever you start, there you are, right? Wherever you are, there you are. Any of this stuff, you can start with this, but the true magic in programming or in the gym is starting with a starting point and going into the gym and learning and evolving training based on needs, which is one of the pillars of the massive iron world. Can I get an amen, brothers and sisters? Bluebird 9929. Does program difficulty matter? Okay. So novice, intermediate, advanced, whatever. What matters most is evolving programming based on needs, what we just talked about. Starting with a reasonable program based on where you are at, your experience level. So if you are new to the gym, we're not going to do German volume training squats. If a coach, if it was your first day in the gym and you had a trainer that said, we're going to do 10 by 10 on squats, you have to, context matters, what we were just talking about. So you start with something that is reasonable for you. Throw away novice, intermediate, and advanced. Reasonable for you right now. What matters is evolving training based on needs. What's happening in the gym? Okay, I'm doing I'm doing barbell rows. I don't like it because it hurts my lower back. I'm going to try a pendley row. Evolving training based on needs. Pendley row, we're pulling from a brace position off the floor. It feels better. We evolved training based on needs and feedback in the gym. I'm going to do 3 sets of 10 on the pendley row. I don't like 3 sets of 10. I just don't like the last couple of reps. Are you a weirdo? Are you wrong? You could be a weirdo. but you're not wrong as long as the rep range is reasonable. So you decide you're going to move down to 3 sets of 8, and you find on the Pendley row, you like it a little bit better than 3 sets of 10. Is it still a reasonable rep range? Check mark. Yes. Evolving training based on needs and preferences. You find after another month, you actually like 6 rep sets of Pendley rows because it allows you to focus more. Is it still a reasonable rep range? Check mark. Yes, it is. So you are evolving training based on needs and feedback. You decide that 3 sets of 6, you like to do 4 sets of 6, and some days you like to do 5 sets of 6. So is it a reasonable amount of volume, a reasonable approach? Check mark. Yes, it is. So you start out from the barbell row, you progress to the dumbbell row. Excuse me. You start out with the barbell row, you progress to the Pendley row. You started out with 3 sets of 10, you move to 3 sets of 8, and then 3 sets of 6, and then 4 sets of 6, and sometimes 5 sets of 6. Evolution. All of these are reasonable. Some people like the barbell row better, some like the Pendley row better, some like 3 sets of 10 better, some like 4 sets of 6 better. Why do I give different things to different clients? For no other reason than to figure out what they like. I'll send them down a trail and see if they come back, what they come back with. It's as simple as that. Does that make sense? I feel guilty when with you talking about reasonable nutrition. I sat in my car watching it live while firing KFC down my throat. It's funny. Yesterday, I got an email from KFC. We go there about once a month. And, I'll get some tenders and some taters about once a month. We go there, not excessively so, but, I'm human. I occasionally do that. That's really the only fast food place I go to. I don't mind a Wendy's burger because it's relatively clean compared to whatever they're serving at McDonald's. I don't do that often, maybe once every 6 months. I don't do really any Subway. I definitely don't do McDonald's. I find their food disgusting. No judgment. We don't really do that stuff a lot. In this day and age, like there's a restaurant called 73 Grill close to us, and the beef patties are beef patties, and the hamburgers are legit, and it's just so much better. And it's only like $11.99 for a hamburger compared to like getting a full meal at McDonald's, which is just slop. So don't feel guilty. It's more about 80-20, getting in your calories, making sure that about 80% of your food choices are reasonable, and you're good to go. Big Tony Maroney, assuming one is not extremely strong or has underlying conditions, 18 work sets per session should be reasonable. Absolutely. This is assuming balanced exercise selection. Yeah. I mean, this is where I start with nearly every one of my clients. Some clients come to me and they're like, I have limited time. I like 2 sets per exercise. I like to do this, that, the other thing. I work with them because the prime directive is if you like doing something, let's do it. Let's do it. That's it. It's as simple as it gets, as long as it's reasonable. My prime directive is reasonable, but I have arguably trained more people online than maybe anybody. I don't know. I don't like to say a brash statement, but one-on-one, if you look at the messaging and the client base and how long I've been doing it, there's a good chance I have trained more people one-on-one online than anybody in the history of the universe. Potentially. I don't know. I'm probably in the top 25, maybe in the top 10. But anyway, this is where I start everybody with. And some people need to cut back on time. Rarely do I ever have somebody find it unreasonable or unrecoverable. You guys know I have a huge base of success stories, and I only have maybe a couple people over the years that haven't liked it. My wife's home, so the dogs are going to go crazy. I'm just giving you a warning. If light band push downs help alleviate elbow discomfort, How would a person replicate this with knee pain? Outside of my pay grade. I don't know that light band extensions will alleviate elbow discomfort. If they do for you, that's great. But one thing I will not do in this world is step outside of my lane. I'm not a pain type of guy. I don't know anything about this. I approach knee pain more pragmatically. What exercises are bothering it? What should we remove? I approach things like this mano a mano. Is there a difference between fast reps and slow reps? There's a difference between controlled reps and sloppy reps. Some exercises I like a faster tempo, like seated press downs, but you still want a reasonable degree of control. As long as you're just not flopping around like on lat pull downs, losing, all tension. It's context. You want to be reasonably focused and getting good mechanical tension out of it. But there are some that feel better with a little bit faster tempo and a little bit slower tempo. I find it really silly that people who aren't extremely strong think anything beyond 15 sets. Most of the strong guys I know are doing more volume. Most of the big and strong guys I know are doing more volume than 15 to 18 per day. I've made a video about this before, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Not excessive volume, but I remember editing the Lillibridge's book. They're doing more volume than I'm doing. I remember back in the early days of, interviewing people in the bodybuilding world, they were doing far more volume than 15, 18 sets a day, far more, maybe 21, 24, but they're doing more volume than the average gym rat. How many clients taken on your density program? I have so many different programs and had so many different clients run things over the years. I think I have 3 or 4 doing density type of work right now. I've always found that more restricted rest, like rest pause or density, tends to treat my joints and tendons better. I can't put my finger on it, but I remember back the year I did rest pause training, 2008, my joints felt better than ever. I can't put my finger on it. I can't. But for some reason, and this might not be the case for everybody, restricting rest, like density program, could be 60 seconds of rest or even 90 seconds of rest between sets, or rest pause. For some reason, I get this feedback a lot, so it is interesting. Big Tony, can you provide some examples of exercises that can be volumized within reasonable that have a low fatigue cost? Okay. Leg curls, leg extensions for quads and legs. Lunges, high cost, right? You can do them, but you can't do them forever. Hack squats, high cost. Leg press, high cost. Squats, high cost. Sissy squat station, not fun, but I can do them, for a long period of time, more sets. Back, machine rows, seated cable rows, lat pull downs. Inverted rows are a little bit harder. I find after 3 sets, you could probably do a little bit more volume on those. So those types of movements, chest, pecky decky. My wife's home. Just ignore her. She's sneaking by. She didn't say hi. Pecky decky, probably cable crossovers, maybe even moderate dumbbell bench. Hi, Chi-Chi. How you doing, buddy? You want to come up? You want to say hi? Come here, buddy. Chi-Chi's up here. I know, buddy. Thank you, buddy. You're a good boy. Okay, let me talk. Let's see. Shoulders, lateral raises, maybe even upright rows if that's your thing. I tend to do a lot of volume with moderate on overhead presses. I don't find them extremely taxing. On bench press, I can do a lot of volume, but I find I run into risk of overuse injuries or overuse stress. I don't like to overwork my biceps personally, so I like to use a reasonable amount of volume. For me, triceps, seated push downs, cable tricep extensions, more moderate work seems to work pretty well for me. Cat dog. Did you hear that, Chichimarango Carbanto? Apparently you did. Thanks, buddy. This is my Velcro dog, Chichimarango. As if you can't tell. I know, I missed you too. Should I take creatine? Yes, no side effects. Creatine has been studied extensively. It is wonderful. It is a wonderful addition. It's not magic, but it's probably the best supplement you can take. This is my wife. She's from Australia. Say good day, mate. She didn't say it. You can find there's some growing body work that says it's good as a nootropic. So really no downside from taking 5 or 10 grams of creatine a day. Your hair is not going to fall out. That's nonsense. It's not going to cause any negative side effects. All that is nonsense except for the rare outlier. Big Troy. Do you think those who get to bodybuilding size are just able to take themselves through pain? Yes. Getting big is a lot more mental. I mean, there's physical stress, but you have to be able to tolerate the brutality, like, and the mental anguish of having going to the gym and do crazy things. Like, even on shoulder day at my strongest, getting the 100 to 120 pound dumbbells in position for seated overhead press, that's not fun. I never enjoy it. The endless warm-up sets on some of these exercises gets tedious. There's a lot of mental stress, and a lot of people pull the parachute because they cannot handle the mental side of things that come from the physical side of things. They tend to be so driven that they can push through the physical pain and the mental pain that comes from the physical pain. Feeling like, wow, what am I doing? You exit a set and you're like, why am I doing this? And then you go back for another, right? Because you know. Some people do have a low pain tolerance. Some people don't have the mental strength to deal with it. I'm just being real. Some people are always second guessing, always fearing that they're going to get hurt. You know, any physical activity is going to have a risk of injury, but can we make it go away 100%? No, we can't. Do we have to mitigate the damage over time? Absolutely. You know, that's what I'm all about. Safe, sustainable training. There has to be a balance of pushing hard and not getting hurt. So we're always monitoring that fine line. But some people have a very, very difficult time just pushing to that edge. Isaac, how often do you run a density style program? You can run it forever, my man. You can evolve it based on training. You can run rest pause forever. You can run density forever. You just evolve it. There's no reason to stop any program you enjoy. Can you lift your heel slightly when doing leg presses? Yeah, I mean, on a leg press, there's a lot of bad information, like feet have to stay flat or your hips can't come off the pad, blah, blah, blah. It's all nonsense. As long as your lower back isn't getting beat up, you're absolutely fine. What is the density program? I feel like I haven't heard. I'm probably not. I have a lot of programs, and I wouldn't blame any of you guys if you haven't heard of them. A density structure, and I think you can go over to the main page and search density. And if you're unable to find it, you know, please just let me know. I will. You know, I'll send you a link to the program or whatever. So don't worry about it. But basically, let's say you're doing bench press. You could do 4 sets of 10 with 60 seconds of rest in between. So density is a bridge between rest pause and conventional training. You have tighter rest periods, but not rest pause rest periods. So you're doing more work within a shorter period of time, AKA density. All right, guys, that is it. I'm going to hang on for a couple more seconds. He's going to lick me. Before we go, just a reminder, you can find this program over at superlivingtheday.com, custom workouts coaching. And let's see, let me remove that. I also want to remind you guys, please, 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 check out my PR.O workout tracker available on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. This is not AI slop. It's not AI crap. It's not AI nonsense. We spent nearly 3 years developing this. And in my opinion, it is the best workout tracker in the industry right now. So, Shelly said, do we need the app to do the challenge? No. Those of you we are doing the challenge on the app Discord, but you do not need to use the app to do the challenge. We highly encourage you to track weight on the app if you have the app and to use the app, but no, you do not. You do not. So please check this out. And if you can't find it, again, just please head over to Ben the Barman on Instagram. I'll send you the link. Please give it a try. It doesn't cost you anything to give it a try. And if you're using an app right now, give this a try. I think you're going to find that we are light years ahead in many, many ways. Missed the live, but I hope things are going well. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thanks for teaching. Have a good day, you too. Thanks for everything you do, boss. Thank you, Troy, for not just trusting in me, but always being one of my favorite people on planet Earth. All right, guys, we are out of here. Have a wonderful weekend. Chichi Morongo was our third dog. We got him from a breeder, and he was pretty sure he was abused. He was very scared and nervous when we got him. He still is very timid. He attached to me. Very thankful for that. And little guy's always safe right here. Nothing to worry about, Chichi. Chichi, can you tell him something about lifting? He don't care. He's very athletic. He's the only one that can jump on the couch like a ninja. All right, guys. I'll see you. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful weekend.
It's not almost over. It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. You're not almost there.